continuing despite the cold because the sky looks spectacular tonight. We're going to try to capture the 2600 to 2649 series. It's now 8:54 Pacific Daylight Savings Time, which would have been almost 8 o'clock if we had stayed on Standard Time. Everything's rushing forward now as we approach spring. NGC 2604A is a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 13.5, 2.1 by 2.1 arc-minute face-on, spiral with a bar, lowercase c, 96 million light-years distant, puts it about 65,000 light-years in diameter. I just look at that bar and almost has an annularity. This is a great study to begin our tour tonight of the NGC 2600 to 2649 series. It has neighbors, of course. We're at RA 83322 with a declination of plus 29 degrees, 32 minutes, 17 seconds. I have no idea how many we're not going to be covering tonight because they're too far south, too far north, or they're bogus entries, but let's push forward. What an interesting galaxy, and it's worthy of that 150x view. Wow. It's only magnitude 13.5? Well, without actually shifting the scope, and it's compensating for it using triangulation, we're now looking at NGC 2604b, a galaxy in Cancer. Magnitude 15.5, but brighter visually. 0.9 by 0.6 arc-minute, spiral with a lowercase c. Boy, that's pretty obvious there. 95 million light-years distant. RA is 8 hours, 33 minutes, 35 seconds, with a declination of plus 29 degrees, 29 minutes, 58 seconds. Let's back out to our best view at 105x and then head out from there. NGC 2607, with some skippage for far north studies, is in Cancer, magnitude 13.6, 0.9 by 0.8 arc-minutes, also a spiral with a lowercase c. Now there's two galaxies here, you pick them, and then several fainter ones. 161 million light-years distant. RA is 8 hours, 33 minutes, 56 seconds, with a declination of plus 26 degrees, 58 minutes, 21 seconds. Let's see what we get next. NGC 2608 is a brighter galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 12.3, 2.2 by 1.4 arc-minute, spiral with a bar, lowercase b, and an annularity, which I think the frontier is quite obvious all the way around. We're at right ascension 8 hours, 35 minutes, and 17 seconds, with a declination of plus 28 degrees, 28 minutes, 24 seconds. Okay, NGC 2610 is a little bit of a change in gears, and I think you can figure out what it is. What we're seeing here is a planetary nebula in Hydra, magnitude 13, 50 by 47, arc seconds in size, magnitude 15.9 central star. We are seeing it. 7,200 light-years distant. You know, I really got to look into whether there's a delta on photographic versus visual on central stars, because we've seen ones as faint as 17.5. 7,200 light-years distant. RA is 8:33:23 with a declination of minus 16 degrees, 8 minutes, 57 seconds. A really fine view. Now, I am accustomed to pushing up the magnification on planetary nebula, like I do on Jupiter, because we want to get a sense of texture, and there we are seeing NGC 2610 backing back out to our 100% and then 70% view, allowing it to sit and bailing. NGC 2611 is a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 15.5, so a little tough to make out. 0.7 by 0.2, that gives us a clue, doesn't it? Probably magnitude 14.5. It's listed as a spiral, 237 million light-years distant, probably somewhere around 50,000 light-years in diameter. RA is 8:35:29 with a declination of plus 25 degrees, 1 minute and 38 seconds. Behooves us to have a 150x view. Okay, 2616 is a galaxy in Hydra. One of these two galaxies. I'll give you the data, see if you can figure it out. Magnitude 12.5. Oh, that's a clue. 1.5 by 1.3 arc-minute lenticular spiral. That's another clue. Although it does seem to have a star embroiled in it. 402 million light years distant. Boy, this one's pushing 200,000 light years in diameter. RA is 83534 with a declination of -1 degree, 51 minutes and 2 seconds. And we'll take it right up, frame these three galaxies, and head on out. NGC 2617. Let's say visible there. It's magnitude 15 galaxy in Hydra, 0.9 by 0.9 arc minutes. Embroiled with a star. It's not the same one. Spiral lowercase a, 190 million light years distant. RA is 83538. Declination -4, 0518. I am moving quickly because I am very chill. Okay, NGC 2618. I think I'm seeing it there. It's a galaxy in Hydra, magnitude 12.1, 2.5 by 2 arc minutes. Spiral with a lowercase ab, 180 million light years distant, probably 120,000 light years in diameter. RA is 83553, declination of +42 minutes and 24 seconds. There is our view. It's kind of sprawling, isn't it? Okay, NGC 2619, look for it. It's a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 12.4. You can see it there, 2.3 by 1.4 arc minutes. Spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, 159 million light years distant. I'm going to stay with these views from now on, unless something spectacular comes up. RA is 83732, declination +28 degrees, 42 minutes, 19 seconds. We could end up with some roof trike shading and reflections. So let's move on. NGC 2620 is another galaxy in Cancer, the Crab. It's magnitude 13.4. Nice aspect ratio, 2 by 0.5 arc minute, 4:1. Spiral with peculiarities. Ooh, I think I'm seeing it there. 360 million light years distant. Whopper! This one's over 200,000 light years in diameter. RA is 83728 with a declination of +24 degrees, 56 minutes, 47 seconds, and it is worthy of a little bit of time at 105 and at 150x. Okay, you can see down here we had a little bit of motion, but now it's starting to triangulate. For NGC 2621, galaxy in Cancer, 15.5 magnitude, 0.8 by 0.4 arc minutes, listed as a spiral. 388 million light years distant. RA is 83736 with a declination of +24 degrees, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. And we've got 16 stacks with none ignored. We need to move on. NGC 2622 is a little further away. It's galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 14, 2:1, 0.8 by 0.4 arc minutes. Spiral with a lowercase b, 382 million light years distant. Could be part of the same group, a little more distant. RA is 83810 with a declination of +24 degrees, 53 minutes, 42 seconds. That's probably our study there. And here's our nice edge on and the other galaxies. Yes, I would say this is probably a galaxy group worthy of some time and attention. NGC 2623 is kind of a faint on the screen. Galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 13.4. Ooh, but it's a nice edgy on. I'm not seeing it here as an edge on. 2.4 by 0.7 arc minute, spiral with a bar, lowercase b. No, just spiral with a lowercase b. 249 million light years distance, probably 180,000 light years in diameter. RA is 83824 with a declination of +25 degrees, 45 minutes, 15 seconds. See if we can coax out that edge-on appearance, but we're not quite getting it, are we? Whoa, what a sprinkling of stars at the top. But we're not looking for an open cluster. We're looking for NGC 2624. It's that galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 14.5, 0.6 by 0.5 arc minute, simply listed as a spiral, 188 million light years distant, maybe 60,000 light years in diameter. RA is 83809, declination plus 194331. Let's push it up to our 105x view and head out. We're about 11 minutes in, and I'm really rushing this one tonight because it's so cold. Halfway through at 11 minutes, 12 minutes, I do need to do this quick for NGC 2625, a neighbor of 24. Cancer, magnitude 14, 9.7 by 0.6 arc minutes. I suspect it's this one here. Let's look at what it is. No, it isn't, because it's an elliptical. So these two could be swapped around. I'm not sure. adventuresindeepspace.com. However, there are two bright galaxies here. This may be our elliptical right there. I'm going to push it up to 100% e-zoom, 150x, because frame all these galaxies as I tell you about it. Cancer, magnitude 14, 9.7 by 0.6, elliptical, 204 million light years distant. RA is 83823, declination plus 19 degrees, 42 minutes, 57 seconds. Back down for our best balance shot and heading out. Okay, we've gone deep south to an open cluster in Pyxis. NGC 2627 is collective magnitude 8.4, another very pretty sprinkling of stars. There are about 11 arc minutes in size, 60 stars. The brightest are magnitude 11, class 3-2, so a little spread out, but the stars are roughly similar magnitude, but not really tight. 6,500 light years distant. RA is 83715 with a declination just inside our parameters of minus 29 degrees, 57 minutes, 18 seconds. But what a nice view of that far south, some 15 degrees above the southern horizon, and we're not quite culminating yet. Okay, NGC 2628. What is that? Is that moving across the field? Anyway, we're looking for a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 13.3. It is moving across the field. 1.1 by 1.1, face-on spiral with a lowercase c and an annularity. This is one we're going to push all the way up to 150x to see that annularity, and it is quite present. Wow. Annularities are typically 4 magnitudes fainter at their limits than the galaxy as a whole. That would push this around 17 magnitude. Spiral with a lowercase c ring, 165 million light years distant. Right ascension 84022 with a declination of plus 23 degrees, 32 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm backing out. We'll get that 105x view, which is quite nice. And then I want to go and see what happened to that object in motion. It gets brighter, it gets dimmer, it gets bright, and then there's gaps in it. These gaps are wider than the usual little dips for the 5-second exposure time. Who knows? Anyway, great view of NGC 2628. Okay, now we know what that bright group of stars was. That is Precept, the Beehive cluster, also known as Messier 44. Let's get a better view of it. Collective magnitude is 3.1, 95 arc minutes in size, so it spread outside our field of view. 50 stars, magnitude 6.3 are the brightest, which puts it as 3.2 magnitudes, the brightest stars, fainter than the collective magnitude. It's a class 2-2, so if you ever wonder what a class 2-2 looks like, you can get your binoculars out and you can look at Messier 44. Stars of somewhat disparate magnitude, somewhat disparate concentration, the other way around actually, concentration followed by magnitude. 610 light years distant, which is only about like 250 further away than the Pleiades. Right ascension, which by the way has no Messier designation. Right ascension is 8 hours, 40 minutes, and 24 seconds with a declination of plus 19 degrees, 40 minutes, and no seconds. I don't know whether or not there's any nebulosity associated, but boy, I am seeing a nice edge-on galaxy in alignment with it right here. Let's move on. Okay, we got some serious skippage this night with some far northern studies in Ursa Majoris and elsewhere. I'm thinking we're going to turn up that galaxy I saw earlier because it's in alignment here with Precept. This is NGC 2637, Galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 15.4, 0.7 by 0.6. No, it's not that edge on. It's an elliptical 434 million light years distant, kind of large for an elliptical. I would say it's probably somewhere around 100,000 light years in diameter. RA is 84113 with a declination of plus 19 degrees, 41 minutes, and 25 seconds. Now, the galaxy is probably this one right here. I don't know about this strange luminosity between this 13th magnitude star and the galaxy itself, but there's probably what our galaxy is. But there are other galaxies also associated with it. Very interesting thing to study at some point at long-term exposure times. Okay, we are now getting roof drive blockages, and this is NGC 2638. I'll give you the data on it anyway. Maybe I'll throw in an image of this galaxy if there aren't too many more from theskylive.com. 2638 is a galaxy in length, magnitude 12.8, 1.7 by 0.6 arc-minute, spiral of the lowercase a, 177 million light years distant, maybe 100,000 light years in diameter. RA is 842.25 with a declination of plus 37 degrees, 13 minutes, and 13 seconds. NGC 2642 is a galaxy in Hydra, and it's hiding out between these two faint stars here. Magnitude 12.6, 2 by 1.8 arc-minute spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, and annularity, which warrants taking it all the way up to 100. And you can see the annularity at 150x. 194 million light years distant means this is probably about 110,000 light years in diameter. RA is 840.44 with a declination of minus 4 degrees, 7 minutes, 19 seconds. NGC 2643 is another one of those galaxies associated with Precept. Messier, I think it was 44. Here's a galaxy here. I'm going to give you the data on it. You may have to go to adventuresindeepspace.com and consult with Mr. Eyepiece astronomer Steve Gottlieb. Good job, Steve. Magnitude 15.4, 0.6 by 0.3. 4 arc-minute spiral galaxy. I'm starting to get really cold here. 128 million light years distant. RA 841.51 with a declination of plus 19 degrees, 42 minutes, and 7 seconds. So I'm going to back out because we've been getting pretty good centering all the way out and then go back in. There's our view of Precept. There is a galaxy right here. Does that map against 15.4? Well, maybe visually, but otherwise not likely. There's another faint one up here. There's probably dozens of galaxies in alignment with Precept. For whatever reason, it likes to collect galaxies. All right, I've given you the data on it. We've given our best shot at finding it, and let's head out. NGC 2644, I can see a galaxy there. It's probably sub-13th magnitude. There's a galaxy in Hydra, magnitude 12.3, 2.1 by 0.8 arc-minutes. There is one of those lovelies, kind of edgy on. 86 million light years distance, so not particularly large, maybe 55,000 light years in diameter. Seems to be embroiled with another galaxy. I'm surprised they didn't say peculiarities. RA is 841.31 with a declination of plus 4 degrees, 58 minutes, 49 seconds. Remember that distance because the next galaxy may be the other one. This one's 86 million light years distant. Okay, getting close to the end, another one of those galaxies in the regions of the Beehive Cluster. This one is NGC 2647, Cancer, magnitude 15, 0.5 by 0.5, so pretty tiny. It's a compact galaxy, 717 million light years distant, puts this about 100,000 light years in diameter. If I had to guess, it's probably a photographic magnitude 15. This is probably our galaxy here, adventuresindeepspace.com. RA is 842.43 with a declination of plus 19 degrees, 39 minutes, and 1 second. Let's push it up a little bit and before we head out. Okay, what we're looking for here is NGC 2648, and I do believe I'm seeing it on the screen. It's a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 11.8. behooves a beauty shot at 75x, a balance shot at 105x, and then some zoomage gathering all the photons for it and its neighbor or neighbors. So magnitude 11.8, 3.2 by 1.1, spiral lowercase a, 91 million light years distant, maybe 75,000 light years in diameter. RA is 842.39 with a declination of plus 14 degrees, 17 minutes and 7 seconds. Now I'm going to check the next study on the list, and if there isn't anything within our minus 30 to plus 45, we're not going to get plus 45 with a rough try. We're going to stay with this one, and I'm going to play with that contrast. So if I were to go on, I would go to NGC 2649, a galaxy in Lynx. Remember 2648, we may not get to this galaxy in Lynx, but let's give it a shot. It's 36 degrees north. Well, we are getting a good view on this galaxy in Lynx. Very nice, but we're still going to go back to the other one. Let's make sure we got this one lined up properly. NGC 2649 is a galaxy in length, magnitude 12.3, 1.5 by 1.4 arc minutes, so he's sure. Spiral with a bar in lowercase b, yeah, doesn't have much of a core. 192 million light years distant, maybe 70,000 light years in diameter. RA is 844.08 with a declination of plus 34 degrees, 43 minutes and 1 second. Looks like it's got a really nice frontier. So we'll first go up to our 105x view. I'm having trouble moving things around right now. And then we'll go to 150x, give it a chance to settle. Now we're going to go back to 2648 for our Carpe Noctem view, and I'm going to play with contrast. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play with the contrast right now and see if it holds. I think we determined that contrast setting of 2.5 was pretty optimal. Ew, look at the spots though. Okay, so let's move on. All right, now if we wanted to get a nice spacey view, we have to go as far as 4.5. We're getting all kinds of crap. I'm not particularly happy with this, playing with the contrast. Ew, yuck. And it also mucks up the histogram. So let me go back and set the histogram back up. Woo. In fact, it almost makes more sense to play with the histogram than it does the contrast, doesn't it? Because we can get rid of the spots all over the field. So I'm going to do a manual job on the histogram on NGC 2648. This is 49. See if we can't get the best beauty shot out of it. We're 24 minutes and change into this astrovid, and I am freezing in all my extremities. Okay, here's that original view of NGC 2648 and neighbor. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to play with the histogram. And I think that gives a better result than playing with the contrast. There's also a saturation value. I'm not going to play with that. I would much rather do a long-term exposure of this NGC 2648 galaxy group than play any more with settings. Okay, here's the beginning of a 10-second view. I don't think we really got a stack yet. I think this is just kind of the first image it throws up. Okay, we've got our first stack at 10 seconds exposure of NGC 2648. And let's stay with this view for the time being. As it mounts more stacks, I'll give you some more data. We will go to a 30-second stack. Let's see what that does too. But give me the 2648. I'm just going to call it up now, allow a few more stacks to develop, and I'll give you the data a little bit later. Okay, it'll take a while to develop, but this is the initial image. I don't understand this initial image it throws up all the time. It hasn't completed its 30-second exposure yet, but it threw this image up. He calls it a stack, so it's probably 5 or 10 seconds into the exposure that it throws up at least an initial swag at an image. We should be seeing this. All right, now it's actually completed its 30 seconds, but I have to play with the histogram. I'm going to put it in auto and see dots. Ah, there it goes, an auto U. I think that might be a little too bright on the screen, so I'm going to play with the right. And that's probably our best view right there. We have gotten our initial stack. I'll give you the data on NGC 2648 because I have the time again. It's a galaxy in Cancer, magnitude 11.8, 3.2 by 1.1 arc minute, spiral with a lowercase a, 91 million light years distant, probably something around 75,000 light years in diameter. RA is 842.39 with a declination of plus 14 degrees, 17 minutes and 7 seconds. It has a nice edge-on neighbor. What a very fine view. I am at 3 seconds left. Another image is about to come up, and that is going to be our Carpe Nocte view.